Win big with new DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beard, taking a look at the DRF race of the day for Wednesday, October the 9th. It's race number 8 at Delaware Park, one of 2 stakes races for 2-year-olds at a 2-turn mile. Before we take a look at the field for the Rocky Run Stakes, remember that 10% off all DRF past performances. That deal can be yours if you use the coupon code DRFTV10. Shop now by accessing the QR code on your screen. Here's the field for the Rocky Run. Remember to access your free formulator past performances on the Race of the Day event page at DRF.com. 10 entered in here, including the number 10. It's Hammertime, and they haven't been able to touch him, Mike, from 2 starts sprinting. Now we'll see if he can stretch out around 2 turns.
It's the big question here. He just ran an 84 buyer winning a stakes race, Dan, and looked really good doing it as well. I do like the way he finishes his races off, and it sort of gives me hope that he'll get at least a mile.
Let's take a look at our Timeform US pace projector. Many of these 2-year-olds are stretching out off sprint tries, including the one, Mo Money, who figures to take advantage of the short run into the first turn and his inside post by running and gunning for the early lead. The 4 Baby Dukes, though, also seems to have some speed. Brittany Russell's 2, Tony Eclipse, should be close.
Yeah, I can see all 3 of those horses at least being forward in here. It's not like the morning line favorite doesn't have any speed, though, Dan. And I mean, from an outside post, I just sort of thought maybe they'd come out running.
Not only does Tony Eclipse have the tactical speed to find a good early position, but you'll note by the LP flag over his chiclet that he has the fastest Timeform US late pace rating. Let's start things off with the debut win from the 1, Mo Money. This is going 5.5 furlongs in a maiden special at Delaware. Mo Money sat just off the early lead. He looks like a big, strong colt, and he runs down the leader.
I just like the way he dug in this race to get the job done, Dan, because a long shot sort of outran him to the early lead in here, and I guess he was fine with that. Came and took over around the turn. This is a horse that already has experience, taking a real run at him through the stretch there, and Mo Money just was not going to let that horse get by. I like this horse's debut a lot, and I see enough distance in his pedigree to think he'll get a mile.
I really like the way he sat just off that early leader and then just took command when they went into the stretch. So not only did he have to put that horse away, but then he held off the late closer as we showed. So 2 moves, an inside post, some speed, and I think enough pedigree for him to last at least a 2-turn mile. The 2 is Tony Eclipse, and I think Brittany Russell ran this horse on the turf first time out just to get some distance in him because he doesn't seem like he does have that gigantic, huge turf pedigree. They ran him on dirt last time out, Mike. It's a 1-turn mile at Laurel. Tony Eclipse showed speed. I thought the rail was golden this day. Maybe that helped Tony Eclipse, but he was also very impressive.
I like the way he won this race, too. It's not like he just, sort of sauntered to the lead here, Dan, and got loose. I mean, they sort of kept him honest up there around the turn. He just leaves this field for dead through the stretch here in hand at the end of this race. Really nice performance. I'm with you. I just felt like the debut was maybe because they were looking for distance with this horse. He's, his pedigree on the dam side, his second dam was a really, really good dirt router. I think there's forward to go for this horse.
I talked to Cal Lynch earlier today about the 3 Ramiel. He feels that this son of Tappet is still a little bit of a work in progress, but he's learning with each and every start. He feels he had some trouble in his debut on dirt, a little bit of trouble in his start on turf 2 starts back, and then he came through going a mile in an off-turf race at Delaware Park, where Ramiel is going to be confronted here on the outside, and he keeps on going.
Yeah, we've seen this from a couple of these horses already, Dan, and we'll see it again from some others as we go on. This horse is very game through the stretch. It's not like he just got away from these horses and didn't have to do anything late in the race. He's very game here to hold on. It's an off-turf race. Who knows? Maybe he's just not really beating anything. And as of now, he's probably not fast enough to beat this field, but he is bred to go on, and maybe he'll just get a little bit faster as the distances get longer.
Baby Dukes, the number 4, is a 2 for 3 in his career. The only loss come when they put him in a tough spot. The grade 3 Sanford against Moplex, who just ran 3rd in the Champagne the other day. Baby Dukes bounced out of that race with this win at Delaware, going 3/4 of a mile. He showed some speed in this race. Talked to Butch Reed earlier on Monday afternoon, and he said that this horse might have started waiting on the horse down to his inside at the very end, but once he was re-engaged, Kevin Gomez told Butch that he kind of found another gear, and he was very tough to tough to pull up on the gallop out, which gives Butch hope this horse will stretch out.
It sort of looked like that when you watched the race, Dan. It was kind of weird that he just stayed off the inside when he took over in the stretch there and allowed that horse to come up to his inside there. But he did. He seemed like he was always holding that horse off. I thought he ran fine, and I really liked his career debut. His 2 races since then, I don't know. Maybe I just don't like him quite as much, but he certainly moved forward on figures last time.
Gary Kapp entered 3 in here, including the 5 Bangkok Bob, who was a winner 3 starts back over a wet track, but was no match for its Hammertime last time out in the first state dash. He's a son of Union Rags out of a mine shaft mare. You'd have to think the distance will be okay, and if the pace is hot, maybe it'll come back to Bangkok Bob, but he is going to have to improve a lot.
Yeah, he is going to. I actually don't mind. I know that they've run him in 2 stakes already, and he was kind of nowhere in those races, but I don't mind that Capuano has sort of done this, maybe give this horse a little bit of a foundation before they stretch him out, because, when all is said and done, he's bred to be sort of more of a distance kind of horse, and now he's going to stretch out with a little bit of bottom, so maybe that'll lead to some improvement for him.
Too early to give up on a horse like the 6 Royal Performance, who is a debut winner against fellow New Jersey bred sprinting at 5/8 of a mile. Then they tried the Smoke Glacken Stakes, and he didn't get as forwardly placed as he was in his debut, and he ran into a pretty sharp horse.
Yeah, he did. I mean, the horse that won that race just wired the field and really never gave anybody behind him a chance. That horse came back and cut the pace in the Champagne the other day and was absolutely nowhere. I don't know. This horse really didn't do much, and they just kept losing ground in that race, just sort of looking like he was in way over his head. And maybe this spot isn't as tough, but it still looks like he's in pretty tough to me.
Lil Sebastian, the number 7, made his career debut over a demanding 2 turns at Timonium. Just a tricky bull ring configuration. And all things considered, he ran quite well. Justin Nixon, who's an underrated trainer, found a good spot for him going 3/4 of a mile at Laurel. 45,000 waiver claimer. And it just looked on paper like Lil Sebastian found the right spot getting blinkers for the first time. And he's better than these horses.
Yeah, these horses just can't get to him. It's hardly, an impressive win, but he's just better than these horses and will get the job done. He'll probably have to do it a different way here, Dan, from somewhere off the pace. But we'll just see how much he can improve here stretching out.
A Shooter Got to Shoot, the number 8, was a debut winner at Monmouth, and he tried the Smoke Glacken against that impressive gate-to-wire winner. Again, it looked like Speed was doing very well at Monmouth all day in the Smoke, and in the Smoke Glacken, they ran 1-2 around the track.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he didn't do anything, wrong in that race, but he was never going to win. And he just wound up, holding on for second. Another horse who just lost ground at every point of call, but nobody could come and catch him. His debut was good. I don't know, how much I want to get behind the 71 buyer in a 5-furlong race, but he ran fine in there.
Capuano entered the 9 Sacred Thunder, but he's also cross-entered him on Maryland Million Day on Saturday, and I have a feeling he might run him there, if not just for, perhaps it's a better spot for him, just to get its Hammertime in a little bit. Mired in post 10. Sacred Thunder's last race, though, if he does run here, was a quarter starter. His first start after winning impressively, going 2 turns. He turned back to a sprint, and he did it a different way. This horse on the lead is exhausted, and Sacred Thunder is going to take advantage.
Just like the previous Capuano horse, though, Dan, I like that he's giving his horses a little bit of foundation before he runs them in these races. Off a maiden win, they just go in the starter race, cut him back for this race, too. That's not that easy, and I know that horse was tiring on the lead there, but I still like the way he kept after it when he won 2 starts back. It was a 2-turn mile. I know he was on the lead there. He won't be on the lead here, but he earned a 75 buyer in that race, and we already know he can get this distance.
Capuano used this race successfully for Copper Tax last year, who was probably the best 2-year-old in the Mid-Atlantic region. Wanted to do some good things this year, and its Hammertime's a perfect 2 for 2. Let's watch his last start. It's the first state dash. He went to the lead. He stays off the rail. He pours it on in the stretch here, and it's an 84 buyer speed figure. It's all about how he's going to stretch out for the first time. He drew a tough outside post. Both of his races have come in gate-to-wire fashion. I'm not sure they're just going to simply hand him the lead here. He's by Vacoma, who could certainly get a mile. It'll be interesting to see what we get from this guy.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting too. Vacoma's just off to a great start as a new sire. It'll be interesting to see how those horses do as the distances get longer, because as sprinters, they're really, really good. And this horse is really, really good. I like the way he won each of his first 2 starts, especially the last 1/8 of a mile in both of those races. He really ran through the wire both times.
Before we take a look at our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Top pick time for our Wednesday race of the day. It is the Rocky Run. It's Hammertime. I'm going to try to make it 3 for 3 by nailing down the Rocky Run. You're going with the Brittany runner. Tony Eclipse has already handled the mile, draws very well, and seems to have that rating gear. She wasn't speed crazy when she wired him at Laurel.
Yeah, I like that about him too. I think this is a good spot for him. I like that he's inside too, while the horse he has to beat is toward the outside. And I'm just going to take it. Listen, if the morning line is correct, this is an easy call for me to take the 2. I suspect that it's not correct, but if it's anything close to that, I'll just take the 2 in here and see what happens.
Mike's going 2-10-1-9. I'll go 10-2-4-9. Curious to see if it's Hammertime can make it 3 in a row and 2 for Gary Camp in the Rocky Run, a $125,000 stake at Delaware on Wednesday. Good luck.
Hey friends, you look like you're in need of a winner. If you enjoyed the great content right here, just click and subscribe right here and enjoy the great DRF.com race of the days, the phenomenal stakes previews, and so much more. Many of that content featuring me and my exceptional selections. Trust me, you won't regret it.